All right, getting ready for Kentucky. Obviously, tremendous team, 16-0 at home. Haven't lost uh, at home all year or in the SEC, so be a big challenge. Oscar, is playing as well as anybody in the country. Being able to block him out, keep him off the offensive glass, keep him off the defense. He's going to get his defensive rebounds, but do a good job keeping him off the glass as best we can. I'm going to have to guard Grady. Um, Wheeler's tremendous, getting people involved. So we've got a big task ahead of us, and we'll see if we can, rise up to the occasion here.
You've played Auburn and you've played Kentucky. How do you compare the two as far as personnel and how they play?
Oh, they're very different. Kentucky's more smash mouth. Kentucky play in the half court. Kentucky plays extremely fast. Over about 40% of their possessions are in transition. So if we don't get our transition defense shored up from Saturday, just be a layup fest. We won't even have a chance to set our defense, so just be a layup fest. But Kentucky's very physical. Obviously Wheeler and Washington at the guard spot. They're just they've got the leader in assists in the league in Wheeler. They got the best 3-point shooter in the league in Grady. They got the best center in the league or maybe in the country in Oscar. So they've got really good pieces.
I know you're big on 6 minute games. Just what do you think you guys can do to improve? I guess down the stretch of some of these games. Um,
Well, we haven't been as solid as we need to be. It's been frustrating. We spent a lot of time working on it. We're gonna work on it again today. We haven't made our free throws. We've committed a lot of poor fouls defensively, not being solid on defense, and we've had some very 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 costly turnovers. So we've got to clean up. Got to clean up the free throw shooting. Got to clean up um, just being a lot more solid defensively, and then obviously valuing each possession when we get down the stretch.
Seems like you did an okay job on Oscar last time. Yeah, I think he was in a little bit of foul trouble too. But how how much is that go into right now?
The last
The,
game's
the
not going to have anything to do with
but
this game.
I mean, did y'all
They're
do?
playing a lot better than they were the first time, and we're not playing as well as we were the first time. So, there's it's not going to have. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to do with what happened in the first game. And if anything, they're going to be extremely motivated because we beat them here. So, what we did on Oscar the first game, counting on him to get 2 fouls in the first half. Um, I don't think hope's not a very good strategy. So we better plan on him playing a lot more and us being able to try to slow him down somehow.
Obviously, no game comes down to just one thing, but I recall when you were going to Auburn, the hanging from the rafters. If we turn the ball over, this is going to get away from us. Is that a key element of this game? Is very
The
much
rebounding.
limiting the turnover?
I mean, yeah, you can't go on the road and turn the ball over like we do, but the rebounding will be a big part of what we've got to keep the rebounding margins close. I don't think we'll be able to out rebound them, but we've got to keep it. We've got to keep it manageable. We can't just get annihilated on the glass. But yeah, we can't go in there and cough the ball up 15, 20 times and expect to give ourselves a chance.
How do you get Gaines more involved?
What do you mean?
I mean, since Xavier's come back, it seems like his game has obviously taken a step back.
Um, I mean, Eric's done a good job for us this year. He's done a really good job. In certain situations, he's played well for us. I think it's an adjustment for everybody, maybe fitting back in with what we need him to do now that we're kind of back to a little bit more of a normal rotation. And so hopefully that'll happen as we just play more and get more minutes on under us.
Well, you said last game has no merits, but what can the team do to reproduce the second half effort defensively they did against Kentucky in game one?
I mean, it's different doing it on the road in Rupp Arena and doing it here on the night you name the court and people are the crowd's great. It's a totally different mindset, totally different togetherness, totally different connectedness that you need to have. You can recover from mistakes a lot easier at home, and so we're going to need to be together. We're going to need to be connected. We're going to need to be extremely tight to in communicating defensively to give ourselves an opportunity.
Right, and you talk about mistakes, but turnovers and foul troubles late in the game. How much can you change what this team just seems to be at that point?
Well, we're going to keep trying. We have some trends that are certainly troubling, particularly late in games, but we're not stopping trying. We're going to keep getting them, trying to get them fixed till the last bounce of the ball. We'll work to fix everything that we can fix. But I think there's some of it that we can get fixed. I think there's parts of it that are going to be a little more challenging to fix. But we got to prioritize what's important, what we can fix, what we can do, how we can put our guys in better position late in games, stay out of some tougher positions, and that's coaching, and that's on me.
It's still kind of a bit up in the air if Washington and Wheeler are going to play. What do you know about some of their other guards?
Well, we're going to prepare as both of them are playing. Mentz is a sixth-year senior. He's a tremendous player, tremendous guard. Kellen Grady, phenomenal player. Those two played very, very well against Alabama. Toppin, somebody that they started against Alabama when those two were out, and Toppin killed us here. I think he had 14 and 8 against us here on 6 of 9 shooting from the field. So he was Toppin was tremendous. They still got Oscar Keon Brooks as an older guy, a junior. Who he had a big 3 against Alabama. He's a really good mid-range shooter, does a good job, and so they've got plenty of very, very good players, older players, talented players. Whoever they put out there, they're at Kentucky for a reason. They're going to be very, very good players.
You've had trouble. You talked a lot about defensive rebounding and turnovers and field goal shooting. Those are things you can fix maybe with fundamentals and technique, but what can you do about free throw shooting? Is it just...
Well, it's been perplexing. We shot 76% in the non-conference. In 13 games, we're shooting 65% in 14 games in conference. It's a 11-point dip. You get the same shooters. You get the same, pretty much the same. If we were overshooting in the non-conference, maybe we could even out, and maybe we're 70% free throw shooting team. That'd probably be worth 2 or 3 more wins. We've talked about it. I talked to the guys about it yesterday. Just slowing down, getting back to our routines. We spent a bunch of time on that. I worked on it with Imwani some this morning. I worked with Efton yesterday afternoon on it. It's at the front of my list on things to fix because it's something that we've proven that we've been able to do. You don't go from I've never seen a team kind of fall off like that. 11 points is a huge, huge swing, especially over 2 months on the same shot that's not guarded. I think that's an area if we could get that back up to 70%, we probably beat South Carolina. We probably beat Ole Miss. We probably have a couple more wins at least. So that's certainly a area of concern.
I know you study patterns of how things happen. The turnovers, what patterns do you see in those and how they happen? Or there are certain guys who do the same thing? What patterns do you see?
Well, we're good for 2 or 3 charges a game. So there's 3 of them right there. We just plow through somebody 2 or 3 times a game. So that's 3. Let's say we're going with 15 turnovers. So you can take those out. We play in transition about 37% of the time. We turn it over about 22% of our transition possessions. So there's another 3. So now you're down to 9. And we don't really just kick the ball around that much. We usually get probably 2 internal bounce passes on drives, which you can't do. Now you're down to 7. And then the rest of them are just kind of, manageable. We're good for one pick 6 on the wing a game. Now we're down to 6. We had one of those at South Carolina. We're good for that on reversing the ball in secondary. So I mean, and then the other ones, we kick it off our foot a couple times. We'll miss a pass to the corner, just some stuff like that. But that stuff's naturally going to happen in the course of the game. The charges, we've worked on that. We spent a lot of time working on changing our finishing and how we drive our feet in the ground and sliding to the side. We've gotten a little bit better there. We don't charge quite as much. The transition, we've spent a ton of time working on the transition stuff, and for whatever reason, we just haven't been able to get that corrected. When I tell you we've spent 10 or 15 minutes of practice working on transition conversion offense, we've been doing quite a bit of that. I mean, we just, for whatever reason, we haven't been able to fix that. Those would be the 2 largest categories, though. All right. Can I go to practice now, Ken?